Good morning, everybody. Have you ever asked yourself, just who am I in the grand scheme of things in the financial world? What is my identity? What's going to happen one generation, two generations, or three generations after I'm gone? What type of an impact would I have had? What will my name mean 100 years from now? I mean, exactly how am I identified in the marketplace? Well, in today's video, I'm going to show you that unless you change some things, you are actually walking around right now and your identity has been stolen, what, by the state. And I'm going to show you today three ways that the state has stolen your identity and the three things that you need to do to retrieve your identity and get your financial identity back so that when you operate in the marketplace, you'll actually be operating as a person and not operating as a fictional person, as a fictional character. All right, so y'all ready? I'm gonna show y'all these three things and let's get straight to the idea this morning, and that's how to get your wealth identity back. Okay, so you said, Brother Ricky, what are you talking about? Well, let me prove some things to you. The first book that I would get would be Meet Your Straw Man. Excuse me. Meet Your Straw Man and Everything You Need to Know. That'd be the first book I would get. If you haven't read it, Meet Your Straw Man and Everything You Need to Know. The book is amazingly cheap. I don't think it costs $10 or something. It's Meet Your Straw Man and Everything You Need to Know. And you'll get a great idea about how your identity was stolen from you and how that you, unless you start operating the way I'm going to teach you right now, how you are walking around right now and you are not even you. Are you hearing me? You're walking around right now inside of a human body that's being that fictional character was created in the marketplace. So you really don't exist in the marketplace, but I'm going to show you how to get your existence back. All right. So it's one thing to have some resistance. It's another thing to have some existence. All right. How are you going to resist something if you don't exist? I hear what I'm talking about. If you're the invisible man and an invisible woman, how can you resist a system that you don't have any existence in? All right. So everybody, it's time to resist. So everybody put that in the chat and let's get the spirit of the living God up in here so I can teach you today how to get your identity back. How many of you all are going to resist the fact that somebody has stolen your identity and you want your identity back? If you are a resistor, put resist in the chat and we get this party started. All right. I need to see if we got at least 10 resistors around here because I'm a rebel. I don't put up with stuff. I'm a rebel. I don't let people steal from me. All right. I let them know you're going to pay me back. You give me back everything I got coming. All right. So if you're a resistor, put it in the chat and let's rock. Okay. All right. I'm going to teach y'all how to build up your resistance. But first of all, you got to get some existence. All right. Because you can't resist if you don't what? Exist. All right. All right. So let me show you the first identity theft. Let me teach you the first identity theft that you probably weren't aware of. All right, so everybody take your ID out right now. Take your ID out right now and look at your ID. All right, so I'm looking at my driver's license. All right, and it's got my government first and last name. Take your ID out right now. Take your driver's license out right now, unless you're driving, of course. But if you're sitting still someplace, pull out your ID. All right, pull out your ID. I'm going to slow walk out of there. I got 1 hour to teach you before I have to teach my sales team today. So I'm gonna teach you as much as I can. This is like you really came to class today, like you was like in my paid rooms today. But I'm gonna teach you this stuff today. All right. So pull out your ID, and everybody put got it in a chat. I'm not gonna teach you until I make sure that y'all actually looking at what I'm talking about. Okay, pull out your ID, and if you got a couple of credit cards or a couple of debit cards, pull them out of your wallet right now. All right. I'm gonna teach you who you are because you might not be aware of who you are. If you're not aware of who you are, you're not going to know how to resist the fact that you've been robbed. If you don't know you've been robbed, then it ain't nothing, ain't even no reason to resist nothing. So I'm going to teach you what's going on with you so you'll know how to remedy these situations and how to do something about your situation. Okay, you got it? All right. Hey, Hollis, you have it? Okay, Maurice, you got it? Okay, David, you have it? Okay, Sam, you got your ID out, David? All right, Terry? All right, Rosetta, you got your ID out? Okay, Nicole, you got it out? Okay, you got it out? All right, Shirley, you got it out. Okay, all right. So you'll notice that Your name on your driver's license is all capital letters. All right. I'm going to teach you what that means in a second. All right. Now look at your second ID. I'm looking at one of my debit cards from the bank. I'm turning it over. What? That's in all capital letters too. All right. So look at your debit card. Is your debit card in all capital letters too? If it is, put yes in the chat. Are you looking at your debit card? We know your ID is. We know that it's in all capital letters. I'm going to teach you why that is, okay? Because you probably never asked yourself why nobody signs their name in all capital letters. So why in the world is you got all capital letters on your ID? That's got to be a red flag, all right? So everybody put RF in the chat because that's a red flag, all right? When you look at something and it's all capital letters, it's a reason behind that, all right? Okay, so are you looking at your debit card? All right, are you looking at your debit card? Okay, and if you look at your debit card, okay, now let's go from your debit card. Look at one of your credit cards. All right, so now I'm looking at my Discover card. All right, so I'm looking at my Discover card. What the heck? Here we go again. All capital letters on my Discover card. All right, and you got all capital letters on yours too. You got all capital letters on your Discover card, your MasterCard, your Visa, your whatever, any kind of credit card you got. Your name is written on it in all capital letters. All right. So that must be telling us something. And 99% of you all, either you don't understand it or you haven't done anything about it. Okay. So I'm going to teach you how to understand it. And I'm going to tell you what to do about it too. Okay. So you said, where did this all start? So this all started on line number 32. Everybody. So everybody put L32. And I'm going to tell you what this line is. Okay. This all started on line number 32. All right. But I'm slow walking you all because this is a real teaching lesson. And you'll be able to do something when I get through talking to you. I'm going to teach you how to get out of this stuff. All right. So everybody put L32 in the chat. And I'm going to teach you what L32 means. All right. Okay. All right. I see you. I got to put my glasses back. That's a shame. Boy, I can't see nothing no more. All right, Shirley, I'm going to show you what L32 means. Okay, David, I'm going to show you what it means. Beverly, I'm going to show you what it means. Dale, I'm going to show you what it means. All right, Tim, I'm going to show you what it means. All right, David, okay, Kim, I'm going to show you what L32 means. All right, come on, y'all, let's go. Let's go. L32, put it in the chat. L32 so I can teach y'all. All right, come on. All right, L32. Hey, Ryan, great talking to you this morning. L32. Okay, all right, so L32A is the line on your birth certificate that has your mother in all capital letters as an informant. So you're like, huh? Yeah, line 32 on your birth certificate. Now, if you happen to be in a house and you happen to have a birth certificate around you, most of us don't even never pay no attention to it unless we need it for something. But if you happen to have your birth certificate around you, pull it out. Or if you got your birth certificate of your kids around, pull it out. And if you're a mother and you pull it out, you'll realize that you agreed to something on this birth certificate that you ain't even aware of. You agreed on this birth certificate to do line number 33. All right. So line number 32A says mother, and it says informant over your mother's name. I know my mama didn't know what she was doing when she was in Cook County Hospital. I mean, Rush Presbyterian St. Luke Hospital, where I was born in Chicago. I know she didn't know why she was up under all that anesthesia and whatever pain medicine she was taking to try to stay sane. I know she didn't know when they came in there and handed her this bond that they call a birth certificate, which is not a birth certificate because it ain't registering nobody's birth. It's game, it's trickeration, it's deceit. What, at the highest level? Why? Because it's not recording your birth. All right. They just call it a birth certificate, but what it really is a reporting device. All right. To what? To sign you over and take away your identity. All right. You say, what are you talking about that, Brother Ricky? They asked your mother on line 33. So everybody put down 33, and I'm going to tell you what line 33 is. All right. So put 33. This is your birth certificate. Okay. All right. Read it when you get time. And maybe you ain't got time to stop right now. So everybody put down line 33. Come on, let's go. Come on, line 33. I ain't in no hurry. I'm trying to teach y'all three things, and the faster y'all cooperate, the faster I teach y'all. All right, line 33. Let's go. Line 33. Come on, we need 100% unison. 100% unison. Line 33, and I'm going to tell you what it says on line 33. Okay, it ain't nothing but three letters on line 33. But these three letters signed you off. All right. These three letters on line 33 on your birth certificate is why how your identity was stolen, how your wealth was stolen, how your inheritance was stolen from the beginning before you even understood what was going on. All right. So what does it say on line 33? It says on line 33, this is a question they asked your mother and asked my mother. This is a question they asked you if you're a mother. They said, do you agree to give your child a social security number? And you said, and my mother said, yes. Line 33 on your birth certificate says, yes. When that yes kicked in, you lost all of your rights as a human being in commerce to the state. So now the state can start doing whatever they want to do to you. And that's why DCFS can come to your house right now and take your kids if they with any kind of bogus nonsense they want to, because your mother agreed that, and you as a mother, if you're a mother here, you agreed that the state can come in your crib and take your kids because you said yes. You don't realize that because ain't nobody having that kind of conversation with you when they're talking to you. This is an illegal contract because all contracts done under duress are illegal. All contracts done unbeknownst to you are illegal. So your birth certificate, first of all, is an illegal contract because they stole your identity right from the beginning because your mother gave you away. She wasn't trying to give you away. It wasn't like she don't know what she was doing, just like you don't know what you're doing if you're a mother right now. It ain't like you in no hurry to give your kids to the state. But I'm telling you how your identity was taken. So number one, everybody write it down and put it in the chat. Number one, they created a character. So you are a created character. So put that down for number one. These are the three ways your identity has been stolen. I'm going to teach you all three of them. I'm going to teach you the remedy to all three of them. But first, we're going slow. If we get through our cool. So the faster y'all come on with it, the faster we go. So put down number one, created character. All right, let's go. Number one, created character. I'm not going no further until I know y'all getting it. All right, I'm not talking to myself today. I already know all of this. I already fixed my stuff. All right. So this is for you. All right. Create a character. Number one, create a character. All right. I want you to understand who you are. All right. Okay. June Mommy, that's correct. All right. Essential business, that's correct. They made you a creative character. All right. Grandma, Melistons, that's correct. They made you a creative character. All right. David, that's right. They made you a creative character. All right. That's correct. They made you create a character. Okay. That's right. Etta, they made you a creative character. All right, that's right. George, they made you a creative character. All right, Bobby, they made you a creative character. All right. Okay, so they made you a creative character, and your mother's the one who agreed with it. They created the whole thing, but your mother sealed the deal with line 33 on your birth certificate. She said yes. All right, so yes, you can create a character that you can come and get anytime you want from my house. Because I just signed away my flesh and blood child to you, and now you can come and do as you please. So I'm gonna teach you today how to get your identification back in commerce, because it's not just affecting your civil rights and all that kind of stuff and your human rights, it's affecting your money rights. Okay. I'm a money coach. So I help solve people money problems and I help people get their money rights back. All right. So if you're ready for your money rights back, put MR in the chat, and I'm going to tell you the remedy to you being a creative character. Who wants a remedy? All right. If you want a remedy, put MR in the chat, and I'm going to teach you your money rights, how to change that. All right. I'm going to teach you how to what? Remove I'm going to teach you what's called remotion. All right. I say, do you want your money back? Okay. Because when they take your ID, that means you forfeit the money you're supposed to be getting. All right. You say, I didn't even know I was supposed to be getting some money. Well, you're going to find out in a second. All right. Okay. Yeah, you're supposed to be getting some money. You're supposed to be getting money in commerce. You're supposed to get money every time you put some money in the bank, you're supposed to be getting all your money back. That's one thing you're supposed to be getting. All right. That belongs to you. It don't belong to the bank. All right. It don't belong to the bank once you do what? Once you come out of this creative character thing, once you remove the creative character and become a real person. All right. You say, Dad, that's some deep stuff you're talking about, Brother Rick. It's going to get deeper. All right. It's going to get deeper. All right. So the word that I want you all to write down right now, put in the chat, is called remotion. Remotion. Okay. Remotion. So remotion is going to remove your demotion. So I'm going to teach you remotion. Put the word in. I know you ain't never heard these words. That's why you can't operate the way that we operate, because you don't have our vocabulary. Okay. We teach you real words that really mean something. We don't teach you legalese words. All right. So remotion. Okay. So everybody put remotion down. Okay. And I'm going to teach you what it means. You ready for your remotion, Parquet? You ready for your remotion? Okay. Essential business. Are you ready for your remotion? Wrong folk, you ready for your remotion? All right. Tarantino, you ready for your remote? Who's ready for their remotion? All right. Joyce, you ready? All right. Dale, are you ready? Okay. Susan, are you ready? Okay. All right. Zach, are you ready? Okay. All right. Arlene. Okay. So let me teach you what remotion means. Remotion means the removal of something or a thing. So let me show you how I remoted my position in commerce as being a fake person. How I remoted what my mother did to me. And I love my mother. I love the ground she walked on. Excuse me. But mama didn't know what she was doing. Mama demoted me in the at St. Luke Presbyterian as a baby. Just like if you're a mother, you demoted your child. But I'm going to show you how to remote your child. In other words, how to give your child a remotion to replace their demotion. But you ought to do it for yourself first before you start doing it for somebody else. So here's my so the way that you get a remotion is that you create a trust that makes a declaration over you. All right. So this is my declaration of independence. Are you hearing me? See, y'all been reading the Declaration of Independence, but if you ain't got no irrevocable, tax-free, private trust and commerce, you ain't got no independence. Why? Because you are a created character. And in order for you to do commerce and to get your money back from the bank, you can't come in as a created character because you're a debtor. So for you to come in as a creditor, which we're gonna get to in a second, you have to have a declaration. All right. So here's just the first page of just one of my trusts, my asset protection trust. And just the first page, just a cover page. All right. All right. Or I'm sorry. No, it's not. This is not the cover page. It's page number 10, the declaration page. All right. So it says declaration of an irrevocable trust. This trust indenture authorizes its trustees, me, to perform under the name of, and then my whole government name, trust. So now the trust has blocked me from being a fake person. Now the trust, now I'm operating in commerce, up under the protection of the trust. And now I can walk into the bank as a real person when I walk in with this trust and I open up my trust, irrevocable trust bank account. Now when I walk into the bank, I'm not walking in as a created character. I'm walking to the bank as a breathing human being. So now I have rights. All right. As a created character, you don't have any rights. So you ain't getting no money back from the bank. Try it if you want to. All right. We've got people, I know people, they tried to do what we do. They tried to get their money back from the bank and they went to jail. Say why? Because they went into the bank as a created character. I mean, not into the bank, but I mean, they filed the tax return on a 1040. First of all, it's supposed to have a 1041. I know 1040 because you got to have a trust to operate like this. When you operate as a trust, you are protected from the predatory behavior of a system that stole your identity. All right. If you're not operating as a trust, you don't have any identity. So you don't walk in trying to act like the big bad wolf. I'm gonna file some paperwork. Yeah, you're gonna end up in a cell with Bubba. You dig what I'm talking about? Talking about don't drop the soap. You hear what I'm saying? So, uh, when people talk to us and they like, "Hey, Ricky, I know I'm just one step away from doing what it is I need to do." I'm like, "You're just one step away from the penitentiary, player." All right. If you ain't got no common law, tax-free, irrevocable trust with a tax-free EIN, then you try to file some paperwork to get some money back from the bank. All you're doing is setting yourself up for three hots and a cut. Are you hearing me? So this declaration of trust that and this is the language that's inside of this trust is all common law language. And if you don't know common law, you don't know what you're doing. You hear what I'm talking about? So when I meet people and they're like, "Ricky, I want one of them trusts," I'm like, "Okay, so you got to come to the financial IQ challenge. You have to come through that for a week. Then you have to hear our offer at the end of the week. And then if you decide that you want to be a part of what we're doing, then and we decide to accept you, then we have a year-long program to make sure that you did everything right so that you don't go to jail. You say, well, Brother Ricky, I ain't got time for all that. Well, I ain't got time for you. Well, I'm already rich. I don't need to do nothing to make no money. I got an irrevocable, tax-free, tax-free, tax credit producing deposit return trust that blocks me from walking into the bank and being raped by my social security number. All right, being pillaged by my social security number, being pimp slapped by my social security number, being dogged by my social security number. When I walk into the bank, I got two things. That's the remedy. Number one is I got this trust that my whole staff created, and we cold-blooded with them. We the coldest in the land. All right, this ain't no revocable living trust. Some little poo butt stuff. Ain't got nothing to do with nothing. Just a glorified will. This is an irrevocable trust, and you go in, you get an irrevocable bank account, and now what? Your stuff is irrevocable. Ain't nobody in your business. It's as private as you can possibly get. You say, Dad, Ricky, if you're so private, why you out here publicly talking to us? Because I'm so private and I can publicly tell you what I'm doing, and can't nobody fade me. That's why. Now, hear what I'm talking about? Why? Because I love you, and I know you ain't gonna learn. And I ain't got time to be having no one-on-one appointments with folks around the world. I ain't hearing me. I'm on a plane every week and enjoying my life. I ain't got no time for all these meetings with people. Are you hearing what I'm talking about? That's why I told you to tune in so I can teach you how to get your identity back. And if I was you, I would text somebody real fast and tell them you need to be listening to Brother Ricky right now because he's dropping bombs. Are you hearing me? He's telling us how to get our identity back. If you love somebody, then hit that share button real quick while you're on here listening, and send it on over to about 10 of your friends before we get through, so you can put some fat on their head, so all y'all can stop being in prison. All right, and these prisons that our mother, unbeknownst to us, put us in. Okay, now you hear what I'm saying? So this is the remedy. Number one, they created a character. They created me and you in the characters, but we don't have to walk around being an invisible man, because when you walk up right now to the bank and you make a bank deposit, your body is there, but your soul ain't. You're like, what are you talking about? Your body's here with me, but your mind is on the other side of town. You're messing me around. Hey, your body's here with me. Listen, you walking up to the counter of a bank and your body's there and you making deposits into there, but your soul ain't there. You a soulless piece of clay walking up who ain't got no rights. So what happens? People start doing number two. All right. So this is the remedy. First of all, the remedy to that is get a trust. That's the remedy to it. All right. Why? Because now you operating under the auspices of the trust. And on my trust, it's got all capital letters. Why? Because the trust is now representing Brother Ricky, the dead dude they created. So now the trust is in control. Now the banking and the system is not in control of my money. Every single dollar that goes into this trust, the trust is in control. The bank don't control nothing. If they do a run on the bank and try to get money out the bank, they can't touch this money because it's not the bank's money. Did y'all hear what I said? Did y'all hear what I said? I said if they make a run on the bank, they can come get your money, but they can't get nobody's money that's in a private trust because it's not their money. It's not their property. It's the property of the trust. Money is property. Are you hearing me? And if your money ain't inside of no trust, your property belongs to them. Why you think they're so bold? I'm talking about, I know people who be wiring money to me, standing at the counter, getting ready to wire some money. And the bank had audacity to start trying to talk to them about, oh, who you sending that to? I'm like, you little poo butt. Who the hell? Who you think you're talking to? Talking to me about my money. Who am I sending my money to? Because they view those accounts as their money. That's why when you go into the bank, you tell them do not give you any interest, because then all of what I'm teaching you right now, you'd be to just knock the milk back over after you took all that time milking the cow. You would have just kicked the bucket and knocked the milk back over, because the bank is to make your money their money. That's why they beg you to take some interest. They don't even know what they're doing. I'm talking about the person behind the counter. They don't know. They don't understand they're up under a system by the Federal Reserve and the whole nine that's going on. They don't know what they're doing. They just been doing what they taught. Why are they begging you to take some interest? Because they're in love with you. Why? It's because that means that your money becomes their money because now they charged you, they gave you some interest, so now you become the borrower and not the lender. Okay, so in order for you to maintain your identity, in order for you to get your identity back, the first thing you have to do is operate out of one of these irrevocable tax-free trusts with a tax-free EIN. That's the remedy. All right. So remedy number one, an irrevocable tax-free trust with a tax-free EIN. Why? Because now your social security number, you ain't walking in there all butt naked with a social security number and they taking total advantage of you because you can't get none of your money back. Why? Because it ain't your money. It's got to be your money to get your money back. All right. Did y'all hear what I said? It's got to be your money to get your money back. All right. So everybody put MM in the chat because the first remedy is my money. Come on, talk. I know you ain't got no trust yet. Just start speaking in advance, okay? MM in the chat. For my money, I ain't gonna teach you nothing else. Let's go. Y'all go out to the bank. It ain't your money. It's their money. Why? Because you don't exist. That's why you walk in the bank, your body there, but ain't no soul there. I hear what I'm talking about. I'm gonna teach you how to get your soul back. All right, it's your money. And if you want it to be your money, then you got to get what? You got to get that identity thing straight. You hear what I'm talking about? So, so that's the first remedy: a tax-free trust with a tax-free EIN. Now, at least I'm on first base. Okay. So you said, what's the second thing? What's the second identity theft that takes place? All right. So for me, I'm good. For all my clients, they good. Now let's get back to you. You ain't no client of mine. You don't get down the way we get down. All right. So let me talk back to you again. All right. So here you are, and you walked into the bank as a created character. So the bank is like, here comes another one. Come on in here and deposit some more of our money. You're like, wait a minute, hold it now. I felt that pimp slap. I felt that. I felt that. Anybody felt that? Put it in the chat. Say I felt that. Come on. I need to know y'all feeling this. All right. Did you feel that? You walking in the bank now, and they're like, come on, bring us some more of our deposits. Come on, for the help you. Come on, but you got to feel it first. Come on, tell me the truth. I felt that. All right. IFT if you need to abbreviate stuff. Right? Give me an IFT or I felt that. I ain't teaching nothing else. All right. Come on. I don't have to be teaching you all this stuff. This is in my private classes. All right. I just feel the Holy Ghost today. God got me. He said, get on up and teach some stuff. You ain't supposed to be telling everybody this. All right. You ain't supposed to be giving them all this information, but I'm gonna give it to y'all today. All right. Did you feel that? So here you are. I'm back to you all. All y'all ain't got no trust. I'm talking to you now. All right. This is what happens when you walk in. All right. Did you feel that? Yeah, I felt that. Why? Because you walked in there with a naked social security number, and as soon as you gave it to them, now your bank account is just like your ID, just like your debit card, just like everything you got now is in your all capital letter name, which means you got zero rights and you ain't got no money. You go out here making deposits for them. All right. It ain't your money no more. You just signed it over just like your mama signed you over. Are you hearing me? It's just generational curses because they set this stuff up in the early 1900s. The book that you want to get is Fruit from a Poisonous Tree by Melvin Stamper. All right. Study your way up out of the stupor. All right. Study your way up out of your stupor. All right. Listen to me. You say, Brother Ricky, where you learn all this stuff? Because I'm educated. You talking about from the school system? Hell no. All right. I said educated, not enslaved. I said educated, not indoctrinated. Are you hearing me? You say I'm educated too, Ricky. If you ain't got no tax-free trust, you ain't educated. You're indoctrinated. Are you hearing me? From a school system that was created by the people who created all of this. All right. All the stuff goes back to the Federal Reserve. All the stuff goes back to the early 1900s. There were no social security numbers before the early 1900s. Woodrow Wilson signed all that stuff over what? And if you read Fruit from a Poisonous Tree, you'll read the words of Woodrow Wilson saying, by the time everybody wake up, it'll be 150 years from now. He said, we'll be so doggone rich. Why? He said, because we'll be the people in commerce operating as real people. They'll be in commerce operating as fictional characters. You hear me? And don't even think nothing of it. Just think it's just normal. won't even investigate it to find out what's going on. All right. But I want to put the world on notice that this system is under investigation. Are you listening to me? I'm not the only one. Okay. It's a whole bunch of us around the United States, and we ain't having it. You hear what I'm talking about? I'm just nice enough to come out here and talk to y'all in the public and tell y'all what's going on. I hear what I'm saying? So, so now you're in the bank. This is the second thing that happens. Number one, they created a character. Number two, now you're in the bank. So since you walked in with the social, you ain't got no trust, you ain't got no tax-free EIN. You just walk straight in with the social that you got from off of your birth certificate that your mother signed, and now you just walk in as a dead person. So they're like, well, dead people can't make no deposits. All right. You know that, right? The only person that can make a deposit is a live person. So so what are they saying? They say, so since you dead, this is the second thing they do. They access your assets. All right. So that's number two. All right. So put that in the chat before we go any further. Access your assets. All right. They finna get what is supposed to be yours. They about to access it like it's theirs. Why? Because you ain't there. What you gonna do about it? What the invisible man gonna do? Put him up, put him up, put him up. Hey, I'll fight the invisible man all day. You hear me? I'll talk about his mama, his great granny got holes in her panties. I'll talk about everybody in the invisible man's crib. What are you gonna do? He ain't gonna do nothing to you. You can pimp slap the invisible man. All right, put it down. Asset. They access your assets. All right, let's go. All right, come on. Well, tell the truth, wrong folks. They accessing your assets. Come on, Maurice. They accessing your assets. Come on. Come on, Eve. They accessing your assets. Come on. Come on, fess up. Come on, Albert. They accessing your assets. Let's come on, Bonnie. Bonnie and Clyde, they accessing your assets. Will, that's correct. Keith, that's right. Okay, George, that's right. All right. Sorry. So you got to admit to stuff first. I'm going to show you the remedy. But if you want to sit around here and act like you're alive when you dead, then I ain't talking to you. I'm talking to the folks that's trying to come up out the dead. You hear what I'm saying? All right. So they access your assets. They access your assets. They access your assets. They access your assets. All right. Okay. So you say, okay, I don't like that, Rick. I don't like that. If you don't like that, if you don't like it, I say, put I don't in the chat. If you don't like that, if you don't like people accessing your assets, taking what's your stuff, what's supposed to be your stuff. If you don't like it, put I don't in the chat. I don't like it, put it in the chat. Come on, I need to see what kind of attitude we got around here today. Am I talking to myself? Am I talking to some live folk who tired of being people pimp slapping them and just doing it, just having their way with them? Because I don't like it. That's why I did something about it. That's why I teach what I teach, because I don't like it. I don't like it for you. All right. I don't like what they did to me, and I don't like what they're doing to you. That's why I'm here talking to you. That's why I'm teaching you how to do something about it. So you ain't just got to put up with that stuff. All right. So they accessing your assets. That's the second thing. You say, why is that? Because they file a 1099-A on every last one of y'all every year since you've been putting money in the bank all your life. You say, what? Yeah. They've been filing a 1099-A. What is that? It's acquisitions and abandonment. So they say, what the heck? You ain't alive. Okay. You can't what? Access your assets. So what? We got zero resistance from you. Why? Because you've been demoted, not remoted. So you ain't coming up in here with no correct paperwork. So what we sure ain't gonna teach you how to come up in here with no correct paperwork. We ain't gonna act like that kind of paperwork don't even exist. Go to a bank right now and say, hey, can you help? And ask for their trust department and say, excuse me, I'd like to open up a trust here. They'd be like, sure, come on in. They're going to recommend to you to get a living revocable trust with your social security number and just pimp slap you from both sides. And now you're feeling good with this fake paperwork. It ain't worth the paper was written on. Are you hearing me? Michael Jackson had a revocable trust. And they fighting over his estate 15 years later. 700 million they charging him right now. So if you got one, it ain't worth the paper it was written on. Right here, it's better than nothing. If you just broke and you got to buy something, some little cheap stuff, just so at least you got some kind of fight off probate court. All right, I can understand it. Okay. All right. I even got a friend that does those. I can refer you to if you just you want to pay $500 or something, $1,000 for a trust or something like that. If that's what you want to do, I got somebody I can refer to you. They real good with that. And just admit it. Hey, Rick, I'm broke. I ain't got much money right now. I can't afford the stuff y'all do. All right, cool. All right, everybody ain't ready for this job. But if you're ready to get rich and you're ready to have some money and you're ready to get down for your crown, then you want to walk to the bank as a different person so they can't access your assets. You hear what I'm talking about? So some of y'all wondering what to do. We're having a challenge coming up next week. So if you ain't registered, I don't know what you're doing. You're going to start January and start this foolishness all over again. You're going to go through a whole nother year being pimped. I don't know what's going on with you if you ain't registered. But if you ain't registered, just put challenge in the chat if you want to do something about your situation. Because you ain't getting no trust from me without coming through no challenge. Why? Because I'm busy. That's why. Because you got to get educated. That's why. If you don't want to be educated, then you don't want to mess around with Brother Ricky, because I'm an educated man and I'm messing around with uneducated people. All right. I'm talking about your financial IQ. That's why we have a financial IQ challenge. Why? Because I'm talking about common law. What's your financial IQ in terms of you becoming a real person? I ain't talking about your financial IQ, supercalifragilistic, expialidocious, X equals 3. I ain't talking about that. All right. I'm talking about, can you walk into the bank and at the end of the year when you file your taxes, they gave you money back? Is your IQ that high? That high? Do you have an IQ that high? Can you walk? Are you operating in commerce? Do you have a declaration of an irrevocable trust? Do you have that much common sense? All right. That's what I'm talking about. I ain't talking about no fake stuff. I ain't anybody trying to impress you. All right. And because I sure ain't impressed. I ain't impressed with nothing but what's going to take care of 4 generations down. Why? The Bible says a good man leaves a heritage to his children. What that? That's 3 generations. Him, his kids, and his kids' kids. That's a good man. But I want to be a great man. A great man leaves an inheritance to at least 4 generations. Are you hearing me? A great man is at least 4 deep. Why be good when you can be great? First of all, at least be good. But how in the world are you going to be good and you don't even exist? How are you going to leave a heritage to your children's children and you dead? You know what you're going to leave to your children's children? A dead heritage. Why? Because you leave who you are. Are you hearing what I'm talking about? You got to come up out the dead first before you can leave, an inheritance to your kids. All right. So if you want to be a great man, everybody put 4D in the chat. If you want to be a great man, or I don't want to be good. I want to be great. All right. Why? Because God is great. I'm like God. He's great. I want to be great. I want to be great just like God. I ain't talking about I want to be equal with God. I'm talking about he made me in his image and he's a great God. So I want to be great. So if you want to be great, put 4D in the chat. That means you want to go 4 generations deep. I hear what I'm saying? I ain't gonna go. Listen to me. With that type of thinking, you say, Ricky, where you get that brain from? I got a 4D brain. You're like, huh? I ain't never thinking about me. I'm always thinking about generations to come. And that's why that's how God woke me up and introduced me to all the geniuses and stuff that work with me. That's why we make so much money. Because why? Brother Ricky ain't thinking about Brother Ricky. All right. I live in a $300,000 house. All right. I can buy a $5 million house if I want. I don't care nothing about that. All right. I'm thinking about 4 generations. That's what I'm thinking about. At least 4 generations. So when you start thinking like that, your brain opens up like you wouldn't believe. The freedom in your head. Come on. The ideas that you get and first of all, the balls you get to go do something. Because people that live 4 deep, we got balls. We don't play. I ain't hearing me. We not punks. We not sissies. We ain't afraid of nothing. Why? Because we ain't thinking about us. I ain't hearing me. I know I'm gonna be dead. I just ain't gonna be dead while I'm alive. Did y'all get that? Are you hearing me? Don't make no sense in dying twice. Dead while you're alive and then dead later on. 1 death is good enough, baby. Are you hearing what I'm talking about? Everybody put 1D in the chat. Let's go 4D in terms of 4 depths. But let's do 1D. Let's only die 1 time. All right, come on. All these dead people walking around here. Ain't you tired of being dead? And scary people, they dead as hell. Why? Because they don't even exist. I ain't hear what I'm talking about? How about you? I'm 1D. I ain't gonna die twice. Run around here scared of your shadow. I ain't hear what I'm talking about. Hold on. I'm 1D up in this piece too. Hold on. I'm coming with y'all on this one. I'm with y'all on this one. I'm 1D too. I'm 1D. I'm 1D with y'all. I'm down with y'all. I ain't dying twice. 1 death is good enough. I'm 1D too. I'm with y'all on this one. Let's go. 1D. Let's go. They done stole your identity. You ain't even alive. Are you hearing me? And when they steal your identity, they steal your what? They steal your heart. They steal your soul. They steal your courage. They steal what's inside of you. Make you scared, punk you. We start teaching you what's going on, and you so worried. If I done sat up and looked at the fear in people's eyes, I'm like, man, you a dead man. You hear me? I'm looking at a dead man. I'm looking at a dead woman. I'm sitting there looking you right in your eye, and you suspicious of what I'm telling you, but you ain't suspicious about the fact that your identity been stolen. You ain't suspicious about the fact that somebody getting rich off of you. You ain't even investigating nothing. I told you what books to read. A scared person won't even read a book. Why? You too scared to open up the pages and even open up the book. You're afraid what you might read. You might find out what the man telling you is true. That's the way scary people are. That's why I don't mess with them. That's why I don't mess around with cowards. I'm like, you're a coward, man. You contagious. I ain't playing games with you, partner. I don't know how many days I got left on this earth. I ain't hearing what I'm saying? And you don't know how many days you got left either. But don't you be dead and then die again. Now you dig what I'm saying? Um, so that's the second thing. Second thing is that they access your assets. So here's the remedy for that. The remedy for that is you file a 1099-A. And that means they can't access your assets because they file it every single year. I just got through teaching, had my trust experts on last night with the people who go through my challenge, and that's in my program. And last night we was going over filling out the 1099-A last night. I'm finna tell you this last form that you have to fill out too, or one other form that you have to fill out. So we was going over filling out the 1099-A last night. It was so much freedom in that room, so much freedom in that room. Everybody putting down what they deposited last year in the check box on the 1099-A that they got coming back because they deposited their money inside of a tax-free, irrevocable trust with a tax-free EIN that's not attached to their social. So they are due their money back because they're a live person in commerce. They're a live person. So we went over that last night. We had a freedom movement last night like you wouldn't believe. I know what y'all thinking. Brother Rick, you mean to tell me you telling everybody what's going on? Y'all must not seen none of my commercials. Y'all must have watched. Y'all must not have seen my commercial while I'm acting goofy, playing two different people. Yeah, I like to have a lot of fun. And while I'm playing this old dude, and I say in a commercial, I say, I'm telling everybody, everybody. Let me tell you something. Your life ain't nothing if you want to hem up the little stuff you know. Your life is a fraud. You know what I'm talking about? You know something, you don't want to tell nobody else about it because you're scared. They be talking about, Brother Rick, ain't you scared? I'm like, no, people scared of me. They're like, ain't you scared? I'm like, no, I ain't. I say they scared of me. Why? Because I know the law. And when you know the law, the people who've been perpetrating and been stealing the money, they the ones that's scared. Hey, listen what I'm talking about? But I have to talk to y'all about y'all fear all the time because I can see it in y'all eyes over the screen because I got discernment. I can feel what's going on with you while I'm talking to you. That's how much I love you. When you love people, God lets you feel a person you can't even see, let alone let me lay eyes on you. You dig what I'm talking about? So here's the remedy to that. You file a 1099-A. All right. So everybody put remedy 1099-A, and I teach the last thing. All right. Come on, I got what time is it? I got 15 minutes. Come on. I gotta teach the sales class. So everybody put remedy. The remedy for number 2 is a 1099-A. You fill it out. Now you say, that's great, Ricky. I'm going to fill out one of them today. If you ain't got no irrevocable trust, don't waste your time. Why? Because you're filling out a 1099-A as a dead person. Send that in and good luck with that. Ain't nothing happening. Why? Ain't no dead people fill out nothing. You'll be writing with your skeleton. I'm filling out a 1099-A right now. That stuff ain't going nowhere. You ain't even alive. A ghost. That's a ghost. You might as well be a ghost filling it out. All right. First thing is first. All right. First thing is come out of that character they created, and that's by operating out of a trust. Number 2, now you fill out a 1099-A. Okay. So here's the last thing. Number 3. So they've been accessing your assets because they've been filling out a 1099-A ever since you had a bank account on your behalf every single year because you ain't filling it out because you can't fill it out. I mean, because why? Because you don't exist. Okay, so that's the second thing. Now, number 3, last way that they stealing your identity is that after they control your credit. So you're saying, what do you mean? They control your credit. Every bank deposit is a credit. What? On your behalf. What? If you were what? The creditor. All right. See, accounting has debits and it has credits. Okay. It's called accrual accounting. But what's cruel is that you aren't doing accrual accounting. And that's cruel. All right. I said, that's cruel. That's extremely cruel. You say, what's so cruel about that? That means that, excuse me, that means that the bank fills out a OID. This is what I was teaching my class last night again, because they filling all these out over the next 2 weeks here. They filling them out. All right. But what they did in 2025, what they did in 2024, right? So they filling all these out for 2025. My clients are. I know y'all usually hear me talking about all this stuff that we do, but what the hell? What the heaven, I should say. What the heaven? All right. That's how God woke me up this morning. I just go with how he wake me up. He woke me up. He's like, hey, man, they stealing everybody's identity. Rick, yeah, you gonna wake them up and tell them what's going on. I'm like, yeah, they ain't paid for all of this. He's like, tell them anyway. I said, yes, sir. Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord. All right. So that's why we're here today. All right. So here's the third thing. So the third thing is that third way that they stole your identity, and a remedy of them stealing your identity is that they saying they the credit. All right. So they control your credit. You say, what are you talking about? Every time you make a deposit in the bank, you're making a deposit. Every time a deposit is made, that means a credit is created. So a credit is created every time there's a deposit made. All right. Do we all agree with that? Put yes if you agree with that. Every time a debit is created, a credit is created. All right. So every time a deposit is made, a credit is created. Do you understand that? Put yes if you understand that. And I'm gonna teach you this last thing. I got 10 minutes. All right. Do you understand that? Do you understand? You understand that? RJ, you understand that? Okay, Phillips, you understand that? Shirley, you understand that? Central business, is that clear? Dream, you understand that? All right. Sister Alkaline, you understand that? Okay. Iraq, you understand that? Okay, great. Grown folk, you understand that? Okay, Malik, okay, is that plain? All right, Ken, is that plain? Henry, that's plain? Etta, you understand? John, you understand? All right, Cassandra, you understand? All right. Ari, you understand that? Okay. So we all understand that every time a deposit is made, a credit is created. So if you ain't getting no credit every year from the Department of Treasury in your pocket, all right, if you ain't getting no credit, no check, all right, or no credits on your return, then that means what? You ain't the creditor. All right. You ain't the creditor because the predator is the creditor. All right. Did you hear what I said? I said the predator is the creditor. Who is the predator? The person that's preying on your credit. All right. I ain't talking about they preying on your credit like, for you, I am praying for you. I am praying. No, I ain't praying like that. They ain't praying on your credit like that. They praying on your credit like, that's they pray out of your credit. Why? They say because you don't want it. They say you don't want your credit right because you ain't no creditor. Because you didn't go back to the beginning. You didn't come in with a tax-free, tax credit producing, irrevocable trust that has a tax-free EIN. That's the first problem. So you ain't got no identity. Second problem is that you they got access to your assets because you ain't filed no 1099-A that's got to be filed every year. Every single bank account has to have a 1099-A filed on it. So the bank is like, what the heck? Well, we'll gladly do what you don't want to do. I hear what I'm talking about? It's just like having a beautiful, drop dead gorgeous, fine 36, 24, 36 wife, and you won't never take her out. Oh, you know what Jodie is, don't you? You know what Jodie is? He down the street hollering at your woman. Hey, baby, when last time you been out? I don't know. Daddy don't take me out no more. He don't what? He don't take me out no more. But he didn't abandon you? Yeah, he abandoned me. Fine as you are. Yeah, I think I look pretty good. Girl, you don't look pretty good. You fine as a wine. If you was a pancake, I wouldn't need no syrup. You hear me? What in the world is, what's your name? My name's Jodie. Jodie? Oh, keep playing around. Jodie can be had your girl and gone. That's the way the bank is. The bank is Jodie. All right. Y'all ain't listening to me. Everybody put BOJ in the chat. BOJ, the bank of Jodie. Come on. I ain't gonna teach you nothing else until you admit that. Yeah, your bank called Jody, right? Why? Because they got your money and gone. That's why. Jody got your girl and what? Oh, we need some more confessions around here. I'm gonna tell the truth. If you ain't got no irrevocable tax-free trust right now, you banking at the bank of Jody. Tell the truth for yourself. Come on. That's up. That's up. Where you at? Jody got your girl too, essentially. Come on, Mama Clay. Jody got your girl. What's up? What's up? Cassandra, Jody, are you at the bank of Jody over here too, Ari? Come on. That's up. That's up. That's up. Get it out. Get it out your spirit. Get it out. Get it off your chest. Get it off your chest. All right. Jody got my girl and gone too. Jody used to have my girl. Yeah, Jody used to have my girl. Yes, she did. When I found out what Jody was doing, I was like, oh no. Oh no, Jody, you can't have my woman. Yeah, don't you be lapping around the crib here when I leave. You know how Jody is. You two minutes off the block. Jody ringing the doorbell. Talking about I'm the mailman. Yeah, right. You come with a delivery, okay? Jody got your money and what? Oh, so this is what happens. This is the third thing. I got to get out of here. I got 5 minutes. So this is the third thing. Third way that they take your stuff. They file an OID. That's original issuer's discount, saying that they are the creditor of the money you just put in the bank. Why? Because you don't have an irrevocable tax-free tax credit producing trust with a tax-free EIN, because you don't have that. Number two, because you ain't filled out no 1099-A and saying that you want your bank deposits back. They say, cool, we'll take them. And then number three, they said, what? Every deposit that you put in here is not your deposit, it's ours. Why? Because you are a debtor, you're not a creditor. So that's the three ways that the system has taken your ID. Number one, they created a character that you currently are operating as. And if you got here late, just pull out your ID and look at it. If you got here late, and you see that your ID got all capital letters, right? Because that may and you ain't never even asked a question why. That came from your birth certificate. Your mother did that. All right. So now you walk into the bank and they say, what? What the heck? We're going to access your assets because you can't. So you agree with that. And then the last thing is they say, we're going to what? We're going to control your credit because you ain't the creditor, we are. So we control your credit, even though you the one that did all the hard work and brought the money in. Thank you very much for the contribution. So if you want to do something about all of that and you're tired of this foolishness, just put challenge in the chat and come to the challenge. All right. That's the only way you're going to holler at Brother Ricky. Ain't no need you get no fake ideas. We're not having no appointments. No, we're not. That's not how it works. Okay. That's not going to happen unless you got $50,000 for an hour. If you got $50,000, I'll talk to you. If you're a millionaire and you're listening to me right now and you want to move faster than the challenge and you want to start getting something going and all that sort of thing, then you can pay $50,000 for an hour. You just send an email in. Other than that, if you don't want to pay that, we're not having no meetings. Some people send me all kind of stuff. Hey, bro, I just want to come in and pick your brain. I'm like, my brain ain't cotton. All right, you ain't gonna pick my brain. What the hell? You trying to kill me? Trying to kill a man of God so everybody else they be left out here in the cold because I'm dealing with one person. It's just selfish, is what it is. It ain't nothing but a slave mentality. I'm not a slave. Okay, I'm a king. I'm a prince. All right, and I teach you princely behavior. Don't let nobody hem you up like that, trying to kill you and run your blood pressure up and all that sort of, because they just want what they want. This ain't about you. It's about us. All right. If you ain't down with us, I ain't down with you. I ain't hear what I'm saying? I ain't dig what I'm talking about. Come on, let me pray for y'all. That God to give your identity back. That's right. Put challenge in the chat and I'll see you in the challenge. Challenge starts next week. And you won't be seeing me here because I'll be teaching everybody all week long. And people will be qualifying themselves to see if they can be in our program for a year. That's what's going to happen. That's what the challenge is for. The challenge, you ain't qualifying me at no challenge. I'm qualifying you. All right, let's just get it straight. All right, and you ain't coming back. I'm just coming to check you out. No, you coming to get checked out. Like, we already get the money. All right, we already got the checks. We got the receipts. We got $1 billion tax return back. You ain't coming to check me out. I'm coming to check you. When you come, I'm checking you out. See if you got the right spirit, the right attitude to be teaching for a whole year. Why? Because we don't have no busters in our program. No, we ain't got no bad attitude. None, not one. Nobody comes around with no bad attitude, with no acting like somebody owe them something. We don't have none of that foolishness. We grown men and women. We got zero tolerance for that stuff. I'm like, man, I'm not gonna be dying twice. I ain't hearing me. I'm living until I die. I hear what I'm talking about. All of y'all. Let everybody know. You're gonna be in my program. You gotta have the same kind of attitude. You got a great attitude, you let everybody know around you. You're gonna have one if you're gonna hang out around me. You ain't got no two choices. All right. And you ain't gonna be none of that nonsense. You sensitive, carry your sensitive behind on. All right. You get attitudes fast, move around. All right. Because ain't nobody having that. So when you come to the challenge, I'm checking you out. Yeah, I know you checking me out too, but I'm just letting you. I'm checking you out way more than you checking me out. Why? Because I already got money. Right. I'm already rich, real rich. All right. And I got plenty of sense too. All right. You say you bragging, brother Ricky. It only sound like bragging to a hater. I tell you that on purpose so I can get rid of haters before they even show up. I'm like, don't even bring your stinky breath over here. Take a tic tac. You know what I'm talking about? Come on. I gotta go. I gotta go. Come on, let me pray for y'all. Bow your heads. Father in heaven, I thank you that you showed us how to get our identity back. We know our mother didn't mean no harm in that operating room. We know that she was coerced into what she did. We know she had no idea on line 33 what she was agreeing to. We know she had no idea on line 32 that she was an informant. We know that. We know she didn't mean that. I know my mama didn't mean it. Yeah, all of us know that. All the mothers here, they didn't mean it either. They definitely mean their kids no harm. But just because we don't mean no harm, don't mean that we ain't doing harm. So Lord, we pray that you would take the shackles of ignorance off of us, totally open up our eyes to how the system works. And then, Lord, give us the courage to do something about it. So we pray, Lord, that you would break these chains of this created character, that you would break these chains of people accessing our assets, and that you would break the chains of people controlling our credit, and that we would do what? Walk in the remedy that you've given us. Help us to walk in the remedy of operating as a private person up under private trust so people won't meddle in our business and take what belongs to us. Help us to be 4D individuals, 4 generations deep. Help us to be 1D individuals. We only die one time. And then, Lord, help us to love each other so much until we're pouring into one another's lives what it takes for us to have the courage and the comfort and the energy to be able to do something about this identity theft. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. It's been a plum pleasing pleasure as well as a privilege. I love you all. Ain't nothing y'all can do about that. Have an outstanding day. And remember that stellar is a stellar does. God bless you. Have a wonderful day. Have a wonderful day. Grace and peace to you. Grace and peace to you. Mhm.